Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be taking a look at a RSI strategy. But before we do, if you have not watched the first video on the channel and all the videos after that, you need to go do that now. Here at the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. And as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down below in the description, and you should also see it pop up in the top corner right now. There is also a link down below to sign up for TradingView. You can save a little bit of money if you use the link below to sign up for your account. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Discord is a free group communication platform where we are having great discussions about all things to do with trading. Lastly, if you would like a list of all the indicators we have tested along with their win rates, but you aren't interested in watching all the videos on the channel, you can sign up for our $9 Patreon, and you will receive the complete list of indicators. We also would like to introduce our Patreon exclusive Discord channel. As a $9 Patreon, you will be invited to join an exclusive Discord channel where we will give you a list of winning indicators and links for the MT platform, give you winning strategies, post trade ideas, give advanced advice, and much more. So click the link below to join our Patreon. Alright, as I said, today we will be taking a look at a RSI strategy. Before we do though, I wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested 267 indicators, and out of those 267 indicators, 107 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 107 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. Alright, as I said, today we will be taking a look at a RSI strategy. So every week I've been doing a video on a specific strategy that I find on YouTube that comes up in my suggested videos and so on, or videos that I've just found in general that outline a strategy, and then I take that strategy, I put it to test to see what can actually be done with it. And I have to say, it is amazing how many videos there are out there on supposed strategies that the strategies just do not work. I mean, I knew there were quite a few out there, but to find one, even this one, I had to go through multiple videos before I finally landed on one that I thought was, a reasonable strategy to even test. So, all right, what's the setup here? Well, the setup is to use the RSI in two different ways. One is, and you can see here on the upper part, so there's price action, there's a RSI right here, and then there's a RSI right here on the bottom. This one looks more like the traditional RSI than this one. So the first setup is that we're going to take the RSI and we're going to use it to determine overall trend direction, which I thought was a very interesting way of doing things. So basically, we take the RSI and we put it on a length of 250. And then we change the upper band and the lower band to 50, basically creating a 50 line dash right there in the middle. And when the RSI line is above the 50 marker, we can consider price action to be in an uptrend. When it is below the 50 designated marker, we can consider it to be in a downtrend. Now for entries into the trades. So obviously when the RSI is above, we're only looking to go long in trades. When it's below the 50, we're only looking to go short in trades. And then we have the standard RSI on the bottom here. The standard RSI, we've changed the setting to 10, and we've left everything else the same. And so it is on a 10 period instead of a 14. And so what we are looking for is when price action is above, again, we're looking for long positions. So we're waiting for the RSI, the 10 on the bottom here, to come down and go into the oversold area and then cross back up. So very similar to how we tested the original RSI. And so you can see an example of that right here where my cursor is. On this particular one, you can see that price action is above the RSI, the 250 RSI is above the 50 marker. And if you look all the way down here and look at the coordinates of the 10 period RSI, you can see that it dips down to 29.25 for just a moment. So it crosses down below. And then on the next candle right here, this green candle, it crosses back up above that 30 marker. That would be an entry to go long. The stop would be from the close of that candle. So this green candle right here, the close of that signal candle, down to the next swing low. In this particular case, if it was reversed, it would be a swing high. And so we will consider that this big candle right here, this big red candle, was the last swing low. And so we're going to measure down to the bottom of that candle. Now, in this particular case, it is right at 17 pips, so we're going to go ahead and round it up to 20. So we just round it up to the next whole number anytime it's not a whole number. So we're looking for 20 pips take profit and a 20 pip stop. So a 1-to-1 is what we're looking for. And it came up and it looks like it was able to barely hit the 20 pips. If it didn't on that one, it definitely came down, didn't stop us out, and then eventually took off and got us there on this price action over here. Let's see if we can scroll forward here a little bit more, see if we can catch another one. So looks like right here on this candle right here, we get kind of the same setup. The long-term RSI is above, so we're looking for a long position. The RSI 10 has crossed down to 29.23, and then on the next candle, it crosses back up above right there on that one. So we are going to measure down to 11 pips to the bottom of this red candle. So we'll round it to 15. That's what we'd be looking for take profit. And unfortunately, this one came down almost immediately and stopped us out. Okay, so to keep this video rather short because I have something else for you, let's go ahead and jump to the results of this particular strategy here. So I did 50 trades, and I know that some of you have requested that I do 100 trades, but here's the deal. At 50 trades, you have a really good baseline of what a strategy is capable of doing. You'll find that around 30 to 40 trades, as you go higher and higher in the number of trades, the win-loss ratio rarely changes by any significant amount. And so 50 is plenty enough for a baseline strategy for us to understand whether or not a strategy is profitable. And so, and honestly, to tell you the truth, I mean, I'm doing a lot of work for everybody out there anyways. If you want to test it on 100, then take this exact time frame and go ahead and test it another 50 trades and you'll have 100 trades. Do a little bit of leg work in this as well. So I'm giving you a lot of free content the way it is, and so yeah, take that for what it's worth. All right, so we had 50 trades and we were able to get 24 wins and 26 losing trades. At a 1-to-1, obviously, that's not going to work out in our favor very well. So while playing around with this, and in the last couple of videos, I said that I was going to try to find a winning strategy. And again, this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of the video. It is amazing how many strategy videos there are out there of strategies that do not work. I spent the entire week watching video after video after video of all different kinds of strategies, different, moving averages and RSI and all kinds of other things. And I was not able to find one that was actually profitable when it came down to it. So what did I do while I was playing around with this particular strategy? I came up with a solution myself. So let me clip the video here. I'm going to pull up another kind of similar set of indicators and we'll take a look at that. All right, so we're back to it now. And again, I'm going to try to keep this relatively short because I don't want the video to be too long. So you can look at it here. We're very similar to the setup that we had just a moment ago. And so again, this is a 1-hour chart. I tested this on the Aussie versus the US dollar pair. And again, yeah, a 1-hour chart. And so that's all I've tested these across at this particular time. And so what do we have here? We have the same RSI setup here on the top. So it is the 250 period, and we have the 50 dotted line. That is again designating what direction we are going to take trades depending on where that line is above or below the 50. Now the change that I made was this. So I found a smoothed RSI. And so you can see it here on the bottom of the screen. All you have to do is go up here to indicators, click on indicators and start typing in smooth, and you'll find the smoothed RSI. I forget who created it, but nonetheless, it's here on screen. So what I've done is I've taken the smoothed RSI and I've given it a 200 period. So it's kind of mimicking what we have on the top here, but less kind of twitchy. It's not as spiky as the standard RSI. Again, that's why it's smoothed. And then what I did was I added a exponential moving average to it, and I set that to a 60 period. If you don't know how to add another indicator to an indicator, you can do it one of two ways. You can right click. So if you click on the original RSI line and then I right click on it, I can then add an indicator to it here, or I can go over here and I can click these three dots and I can add an indicator to it here as well. That's how you add indicators to it. So we have the smooth RSI on a 200 period and we have a 60 period EMA going off of that smooth RSI. And so the setup, again, is relatively similar to what we were doing a moment ago. So we have the standard RSI that is trading above the 50. So we're only looking for long signals. And then what we're going to look for is the blue RSI to cross up above the orange exponential moving average. And so you can see right here on this candle right there, it gets the cross right there and looking for a long trade in this particular case. And so we would measure from that signal candle down to the last swing low. So I'm not going to consider this one right here. I'm actually going to go one step further down. So we're going to go down to this one. It's about 41, we'll say 40 pips, just, right at 40 pips, right? And that is going to be our take profit. We're going to look for 40 pips to the upside. And you see that we got that rather quickly right there. So again, kind of a similar setup, but not exactly the same. Now, the good part about this is that this tends to catch really big moves as they are getting ready to take place. So what are the numbers on using this particular strategy? So I went ahead and I did this one on 70 trades, and that was just because I just kept playing around with it. I like back testing things, and so got a little carried away with it, and I was at 70 before I knew it. So 70 trades, we're at 40 wins, and we're at 30 losing trades. So that's just barely below a 60% win rate. But keep in mind, again, that this has a tendency to really catch big moves. And so if you were to, I did all these trades based off of a 1-to-1 risk reward, and then you take the position off at 1. If you were to take half the position off, move it to break even, and then let the rest run, for example, then you can see how that would greatly increase your winning potential. And so let's take a look at some of these as an example of what you could get if you rode this out for a while. Again, you'd have to have a decent exit indicator in place to do this, but let's say you took this trade right here. In this particular case, let's zoom in on it a little bit more. Right about here. So we were looking at about a 20 pip risk, or even if we were, to bring it down even a little bit more, if I could get my things to cooperate here. There we go. Even if we brought it down a little bit more and we said 30 pips was, what we were going to risk, then in this particular case, well, let's look at this one over here, because that one actually came up and then ended up rolling back over. So let's look at this one right here. So let's say that we were risking, right at about 20 pips on that one, or even if we went way down here, 60 pips. We were risking 60 pips on that particular move. And you can see here that it ran all the way up to 213 pips before it really rolled over. Even if you rode it up to the top of those right there, right here in this area, 129 pips. And it does it over and over again. It's not just a one-off kind of incident that occurs. So again, right here, if we went all the way down to the bottom of there, 74 pips is what we were risking, and it ended up right at about 130 pips as it double topped over here on this side. And so I could go back, multiple times. I mean, you can see, and again, this is on a 1 hour chart. And so right here, if we were at about 126 pips risk and it topped out at about 150, you probably would have gotten out about 150 by the time it was all said and done. So that risk reward was a little large, but like I said, you can see it time and time again right here. If we were risking about 90 pips and it came down to about 230 pips before it bottomed out down here at the bottom. If you were to conservatively, probably got out at about 200 pips. And so, yeah, this is seems like a really solid strategy, much better than the original strategy that I was playing around with. And so I definitely wanted to provide something that actually worked in this particular video, which is why I was stressing so bad trying to find a strategy that would actually produce something reasonable. And again, I just couldn't find one. So I took it upon myself to go ahead and work out something that actually could get you somewhere if you, worked with it, played with it, and, tested on other pairs, other time frames, what have you, to make sure that it all still works appropriately. But at least on the Aussie dollar versus the US dollar, it seems to be a pretty stable way of trading. So it's definitely something you could play around with a little bit more on at least this pair. Trade it on that pair alone could get you really well, as well as putting winning strategies out on the YouTube channel when I can. Now, keep in mind, if winning strategies were, if there were tons of winning strategies out there, I'm not saying that there isn't quite a few, But if there were tons and tons of winning strategies out there, then everybody would be banging out profits in the market constantly, and all of us would be winning, profitable traders. But the reality is there's a lot of people out there who make it look very simple, and it's not. There's a lot of people out there who make it look like, this strategy or that strategy works, and they just don't. And so I really take a lot of time to make sure that I'm putting in effort to make sure that, these things are working whenever I put them out there, or at least work in some instance, as well as putting them out there on the YouTube channel when I can. We also provide winning strategies to the patrons on our Discord channel as well, our Discord server. So there's a patron only channel on our Discord server, and I will throw winning strategies out there as well. I provided one not too long ago that was actually, I think, about a 66% win rate. And one of our Discord members wrote it up in PineScript. And so I actually have it as a indicator in my scripts that I, plugged it into PineScript and spit it out as an indicator. And it works really well as a really decent strategy to use. And so there's definitely value in becoming a patron for our Patreon, and getting on that channel as well. If you're interested in a little bit more, I try to give as many strategies as I can, but like I said, there's not tons of them out there. So at this point, the video is getting super long, so I want to cut it here so that way it doesn't get any longer. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We will try another strategy next week, see what we can get out of some more, and we'll just keep plugging along with videos like this each week, but the next video will be on to another indicator. If you have not already, like this video, share this video, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. Also turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. So that way you know what indicators we have tested and are testing. Also, there is a link down below to join our Discord server, which is a free group communication platform where we discuss all things trading related. There is also a link down below to TradingView, and if you use that link to TradingView to sign up for an account, you will save a little bit of money. And lastly, there is a link down below to sign up for Patreon. Please sign up for the Patreon and support the channel the best way you can.